Whether you're a suburban athlete or an Olympic champion, you've got to work hard to get results. We've put over 15 years' experience into developing Active Man, combining vitamins, minerals and proteins. Active Man helps provide you with the nutrients you need to optimize performance and assist recovery. Discover the Active Man range, now available. Active Man, power up.
Welcome to this week's Power Progress podcast, and this week another amazing guest speaker, as of every week, but this one is special. And this is Adam Ballinger, and what we're going to basically, we're both online fitness coaches, personal trainers, and fitness models, and we met. I think it was around about, was it 2016, Adam?
I think it was about 2016. Yeah, I think that was probably when I did my first show. Yeah, so yeah, it would have been 2006, maybe 2015. I can't remember between the two of those. So yeah, it was
because it was backstage in Miami Pro. I was already backstage.
As you were already working doing
it. Yeah, and you helped out. Was it just show. Once you helped out, wasn't it?
Yeah, just the once I helped out. Yeah, it was it. I just did I just helped out getting all the athletes ready. So that was that must have been after my so that must have been 2016 then, because I competed first in 2015. So yeah, it would have been the year after that I helped out. Yeah, so yeah, 2016.
Yeah, and obviously you started in the industry as the fitness model, because at the time you was a car salesman. Is that right?
So originally, when I started, I was working for my family business as a carpenter, and I was doing this kind of fitness modeling on the side. And then that was when I first did my first bodybuilding show, or Miami Pro show, in 2015. So my brother got me into it, and then it wasn't until about 2017 actually that I then went to do car sales. So I stopped working for my dad and then went into the car sales industry. Worked for Jaguar Land Rover for 4 years. Awesome, loved it, great job, very fast paced, lots of hours, doing like 60 hours a week. And then it was basically after that we'll go on to it, but yeah, the last 8 months I basically went self-employed and started doing what obviously me and you are both doing now, which is online coaching and PT.
Yeah, I mean, mine was years ago. I think mine was something like 2003. I think I got into fitness, but at the time I was working for the emergency line of Summon Electrics, and I was developing my personal training business and working for Cancel Gym. Did you have that sort of switch over where you was kind of doing it a little bit?
Yeah, so I've always been in the fitness industry, like in terms of other playing sports at a pretty good level. It wasn't until about 2015 that I started actually, I'd say, bodybuilding, as it were. So my brother got me into it, and then pretty much since then I stopped playing other sports and always then concentrated on bodybuilding. And then whilst I was working at Land Rover, probably 2019, I started taking on my sort of first clients after I'd done a few shows myself, on quite a few. I didn't want to jump in and be that guy that, done one show and then become an online coach, because, it just never looks good, as it. But, I've got enough knowledge. I've been in the industry for, a fair amount of time and learned quite a lot over that period of time. So I thought, now I can probably offer my services to people that want it. So whilst I was working at Land Rover, I started taking on a few online clients, because I didn't have enough time to actually PT anybody at that point, because I was still working like 60 hours a week. So I just didn't have any time to actually do PT. So I started building up my online business. And then it got to March 2020. And I actually remember it really well, because obviously COVID was literally just looming, and I handed my notice in at my job on the 1st of March. But this was before COVID kicked off, because I think, if you remember right, I think we went into lockdown on I think it was the 17th of March, maybe.
It was around about that.
23rd of March, it was 23rd of March.
Yeah, I remember the gym shut on the 19th, and then everything shut down altogether around about the 23rd, something like that. Yeah.
So I remember I handed my notice in on the 1st of March, and then about 10, 11 days after, McDonald's closed down, and I thought, oh shit. I was like, this has got to be big. If McDonald's has closed down, it's got to be big. And I remember I got a phone call from my dad, and he was like, Adam, you need to ring your boss and ask him if you can keep your job, because this isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. And I was like, no, I'll be all right. And I thought, it's my dad, I'm going to listen to him. So I did. I rang my boss. I said, is there any chance I can keep my job? And he went, I thought you might say that, Adam. But he goes, yes, we didn't want you to leave anyway, so we'll keep you on. So I ended up actually then staying with Land. Well, the funny thing was, actually, so I kept my job, and then 4 days later I got furloughed for 3 months. So if anything, it was pretty good, because in a way I would have left and then not had a job to go to, but I stayed. 4 days later, I got furloughed and I got full pay for 3 months, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I basically stayed there for another, I think, over a year. So I didn't leave till May last year. So yeah, I stayed for another whole year in the car industry because COVID obviously took off, and I just didn't want to risk it that hard. Like, I'm all about taking, calculated risk and stuff, but I realized that probably wasn't going to be the right time to do it. And actually, when I did want to launch myself as self-employed, I wanted to go out with a bang and be like, right, okay, here I am, rather than it come out and be like, oh, it's not really taken off and me finding myself in trouble. And actually, looking back on it, I probably was a bit premature to leave my job in the 1st of March anyway, because knowing what I know now, I probably wasn't ready anyway, and I probably would have been really throwing myself in the deep end. So having that extra year to kind of still build up my online whilst I was still working, and having help from others like my brother and other coaches I know in my area, it did really make me realize, I probably would have done it too early. But now, when I did leave it in May last year, I'm now in a way better position to actually, help my clients and build the business that I needed to to build, which was good. So
What angle have you went down more? Have you got more in-person clients, or are you more down the avenue of the online?
I'm probably definitely more online at the minute. I was always more online because at the point when I was still with Land Rover, I was only offering online. Then when I opened up, when I went self-employed, I then joined Everlast Fitness in Cheltenham. So it's a gym which is pretty much central to Cheltenham. It's quite a good clientele basis. It's reasonable membership. It's between sort of £30 and £40 per month to train there. So you get quite a good clientele there. And I joined there, and I got myself up to about 30 hours a week pretty quickly. And I said to myself, I only wanted to do between 25 hours and 30 hours a week max, because actually I then wanted to dedicate the rest of my time to my online. And the whole reason why I went self-employed was to give myself more time and not always be somewhere doing something. Whereas obviously, as you know, being an online coach, you've kind of got that freedom to be able to, take your laptop as and wherever you want to go and, do your work in your own time, which is a good aspect of the job, which is why we like it. So I didn't want to go flying in with loads of hours to start off with. So I got to about 30 and that was fine. And then actually over probably towards the end of November, all the way through to probably start of January, I lost quite a lot of clients. Actually, I dropped almost down to 15 hours a week, so almost half of what I was doing PT wise. So a lot of people dropped off. But because I had my online side, it wasn't too phased, because actually, like if I didn't have my online, then yes, I would have been struggling quite a bit and be like, I need to do something here. But because I had my online stuff, which is probably supporting me more, a lot of my clients are actually kind of mixed between like a hybrid package. So they do the online coaching with me and they PT with me. So people in my local area, for example. So I'll always say to them, if you're just looking for a PT session, that's fine. But realistically, if you want to get more out of me as a coach, then realistically, if you let me take hold of a little bit more, let me kind of have more in charge of what it is you're doing. So your food, your training, and then obviously seeing at the same time, you're going to get better results. So that's kind of how I guess not sell the package, but I guess talk my clients into going down the hybrid route, because actually, if you're training with me, doing everything else with me, your results are going to be much better than just doing maybe one PT session with me a week and then go home and eat whatever you want. So that's proven to be quite a good way of sort of getting clients on and getting good results out of them. Then again, obviously, when I've got online clients who obviously don't live locally, then of course I'll just be online with me as well. So at the minute, I'd say I'm definitely more online at the minute. I am just moving to a new gym as of next month. So I'm leaving where I currently am and going to a new gym in Cheltenham called Simply Gym. They're quite a lot bigger. It's way more equipment in there, and they've got quite a few more members and less PTs as well. But more the clientele basis of what I want to coach is more there. So kind of more geared up for younger lads, more people that probably want to do competing, training, a bit more bodybuilding kind of training. That's kind of who I want to specialize in. Obviously, I'm not going to say no to any clients coming in, because I can help anybody, but that's kind of who I will who I do kind of specialize in a little bit more. So that's kind of where I've taken it, and hopefully my PT hours will build back up again, get to again where I need to be, and then hopefully have that fine balance of both PT and online again. So yeah, it's kind of my angle at the minute.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've always been more down the lifestyle route. So that my niche is entrepreneurial guys or working mums. So it's interesting when you say about if you just do the PT side. I've noticed there's two types of motivations. So I've got the ones who just do the PTs, which I accept. If they don't do the exercise with me, they do very minimal outside of it. So whereas what I'm finding with the hybrids and the online is they've got a level of motivation to do it themselves. So I'm finding the value what I give on the online platform super succeeds, say, the one-to-one. But I understand that is high value for that type of person. The fact that they just know they wouldn't do it because they haven't got the focus.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head there. To some people, they don't want a full online package. They don't want a diet written. For them, just an hour a week just to come see somebody, let a bit of steam off and have a good 1 hour session, that's more than enough. Not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Not everyone wants to be shredded, which is fair enough. And like you said, that's when you have to really read your client and find out, what it is they want to achieve. And if it is just be a lifestyle client and they're happy just to come see you once a week and have a good crack, because, for a lot of people, just to get out and have that hour sort of interaction with someone else is quite a nice thing to do. So I find, like if that's happy with what they're just doing, that's fine. I'm not going to push anything else on them. If they're happy to do PT, then we'll leave it at that. But like you said, the online sort of clientele or the hybrid clientele, they've already got a good level of understanding of training and dieting anyway. But it's more, I find, the accountability side that they kind of benefit from. So having us as coaches to check in with, and having someone in their corner to say, okay, right, don't do that this week. Try this. Try that. Or even, okay, hi Adam, it's Friday. I know I'm not meant to be going out for I know it's not my plan, but I've got a birthday meal tonight. Can I go to? What can I swap out? And then having us as coaches go, yeah, that's fine. Right, go out, have this instead. We'll pull back on that today, because not everybody's got that level of knowledge to be able to do that with their food or their nutrition. So having someone in their corner to give them that then sort of helps them, and that's why again it likes them, because it allows them to still be pretty flexible but still be on point as well. So they're quite good clients to sort of train and have on board. I
feel like the online platform is a very good, what I call win-win, because the price isn't as much as, say, if someone wants to train with you in person 2-3 times a week. You give great value because you're giving all your knowledge, and that you're hounding in the focus what they need to be focused on. Like you said there, if someone needs something quick, like, oh look, hey, I've got an event this weekend, but I don't want to ruin things. What should I do? Automatically you can make them adjustments. And I feel like the one-to-ones don't have that same sort of value in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I mean. Like, they will kind of miss out on that side of things. But again, if they're not too bothered about it, then you leave them to it and let them and crack on. But I also think what I kind of express to a lot of my clients when I get them on a consultation call is don't necessarily look at it as a payment or a cost that having an online coach. Use it as an investment, because when you sort of give clients up to start thinking like that, they're going to then look at it in a different manner and think, actually, okay, I'd happily spend, I don't know, 40-50 quid on a dress or a new t-shirt like that, which I guess could be an investment to them that they like it. But I say, look, if you look at this as let's say it's £100 a month for my online coaching fee, but what you're going to learn out of that, say you're with me for 2-3 months, 4 months, I guarantee you at the end of those 4 months you're going to be in a better position than you were at the start. You're going to have learned something from me. You're going to have learned how to diet, how to train, mindset, loads of different things that we as coaches bring to people. It's not just coaching. It's not just like, there's your plan, there's your diet, go away, like that. We bring a lot of value to these people. And also I feel, well, me definitely as a coach, I'm more than just a coach. If my clients are struggling, I'll say, no, just pick up the phone, give me a call, even if, I don't know, your girlfriend, your boyfriend's cheated on you, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's sometimes you got to just be there for your clients in every kind of needs. Not what everyone's going to speak to you about those things, but if you can offer that kind of service, then I feel that you're going that level above.
I think so,
coaching, which helps.
You build that sort of relationship up, don't you? And they almost see you as someone they can turn to if they really need to get that extra bit of advice.
We're almost like the ultimate hairdresser. You know what I mean? We're there, like, they speak to, they tell us everything, and we're there to kind of help them along in situations. But yeah, like going back to the investment side of things, I know I really kind of like pound on that to my clients, say, look, you are going to learn. Don't look at this as, oh, it's going to cost me this amount, to train with this guy. Look at it as, okay, yeah, and what I'll also do is I'll always send them an initial sort of consultation form to get them to fill out a few things, and I'll just bring it back to what answers they filled out on there. So I'd be like, okay, so for example, you said that you're not happy with this, and you want to look like this, or you're too embarrassed to get your top off in public, but that's something you really want to do. Then I'll just bring that back in and say, okay, well, doing this, use this as an investment, and in X amount of time, you will be in a position where this is fixed, and that's where your good money is being put into. And likewise, when my clients then don't check in, for example, I'll remind them of that, and I'll be saying, this is your money that you're spending. This is, your hard-earned cash. Make sure that you're getting the full use out of it. Check in on time, ask questions, be upfront. If you need anything, make sure you use us for what we're worth, because at the end of the day, like I said, you are spending your hard-earned money, but it's only an investment if you use it properly. So that's something I always dig deep into as well.
Definitely. I'm going to take you back now, because obviously it's quite fresh for you. It's a long time ago for me, since I've been employed. What did that feel like, having that employed mindset where you knew you had a regular income in, and having to come away from that and having to now sort of save money for them rainy days, or if business was coming down? How was that shift for you mentally?
It was quite hard to start off with. I think so. I mean, luckily, like I said, I'd already built up a level of clients, so when I left, I was already comfortable. It wasn't like I was chasing to what I was already earned. Like I always said to myself, if I was to go self-employed, I want to make sure I'm in a position where I'm already earning what I am or more. And I kind of was at that position. But yes, it definitely does have that element of, okay, right, you have 2 quiet months, then you can be in the shit a little bit. So and then also paying your own taxes, all of those things that you've never had to really think about before. You then have to get yourself an accountant, loads of different things that are necessarily when you're employed,
marketing, branding,
marketing,
everything,
loads of stuff. And then also self-investment in yourself. So it's not just, okay, here's my services. You've got to pay for coaching apps, you got to pay for further education of yourself, because you can't expect to be a better coach if you're always delivering the same stuff. So it does cost money, as well as, obviously, yes, you're earning okay money, but you have to invest back in yourself to make sure that you are on that kind of good level of service. So really managing your money is something that it took me a few months to kind of get my head around. And even to this day, if I have a bad month, or a few bad months, or a few bad weeks, or I don't make a sale, or I don't bring anyone on, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's not, you don't have that comfortability factor of, right, well, I know I'm getting this per month anyway, so I can kind of sit back and relax a little bit. But then again, I was always in sales, so sales was kind of similar, because I only got a really small basic anyway. So I kind of relied off of my commission that I went out to sell cars. So I kind of went into selling knowing that to earn money, I've got to work to do it. So I always had that kind of mindset, like, okay, right, I can't just sit back and do nothing, because I'm not going to get anything out of it if I do that. So it just basically gears you up to be like, just work a little bit harder, I guess, really, because actually, if you don't, you'll be back in an employed job. So it's like, you got to make sure it works at the end of the day.
It's funny you should say that about that side of things. I was speaking to my mate, and it was actually my missus at the time, was having food, and they were talking about, he's a mortgage advisor, she's in recruitment, and they're both talking, saying, well, we're kind of self-employed anyway, aren't we? And I was like, you are, to a point, in the sense of what you've just said there, that you get your minimum and you are chasing sales to earn extra. But the bit which they don't understand, you'll notice now, but when that's got pulled away, that comfort of having a team of people, the brand and all that, that's the bit which it's kind of like underneath the surface. You don't realise how much you need to do with that side.
Exactly. And even that basic, sometimes it's not a lot in sales, but it's still something. Do you know what I mean? It's still something that we might pay your mortgage, it might pay something. But when you take that away, and you've got to pay for everything, every every little cost is a cost at the end of the day. So you've got to become a little bit more savvy with, not only with just this is anything I've just started getting better with probably in the last few months. Is when I first went online, I was, yes, I'm earning this, but I wasn't thinking also what am I spending.
Yeah.
So then I wasn't looking at actually my profit. So then you've got to then sometimes look at what your profit is as well, and then realize, okay, actually how much am I actually making when we strip it all back after my tax, after my outgoings and stuff like that. And then when you realize, okay, this month I've actually only made, or it looks like I had a good month, but realistically, when you take that away, I've only done this. So again, you then start thinking in the mindset of what do I need to do to earn this, for example. So rather than whereas before you'd kind of just sit back and be like, okay, well, I know that's coming in. This time now it's like, okay, well, to be here, I need to make sure that I need to do 5 sales this month. And to get to 5 sales, I probably need to speak to, I don't know, let's just say my closing rate was, I don't know, 5 out of 10. So I'll speak to 10 people or something like that. That's, I mean, it'd be good if it was that good. But, but that's as an example of kind of what you have to start thinking about when you sort of do go self-employed. Can't just let things come to you. You've got to sometimes go out and get it yourself.
It's huge, isn't it? Yeah, there's so many elements. Obviously, I don't know if you've read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, well, he talks about the quadrant, which is E, which is employed mentality. S, which stands for small business. That's the left side. I'll do this briefly. On the right side, it's B for big business and I for investors column. And he's saying in order to have financial freedom in the future, if you're on the left side, you have to have the investors column. So our best would be if we decide to go for big business. I don't particularly want. I'm quite happy with small business. So I'm going for like my small business, and then I'm looking into my future, which is how I develop my investors column. But the reason why I feel that's important, what you discuss, which is really important for making sure that you stay, free, if you like, is you need to have at least 2 legs of finance coming in, which are good. So in my case, mine would be my PT, mine would be my online, and I'd say my not only online one-to-one, it would be my groups. I'd say they're my top 3. Then the other ones is obviously what I make from, sort of collaborations, fitness modeling, what comes off the back of that. And I'm assuming, would that be something, is that similar what you would have to lead on?
Absolutely. So again, actually something I was talking about with my partner probably 2 weeks ago, and we were discussing it because she was actually reading something about, to a bit like I said, to get financial freedom, you've got to have that, multiple areas of income, because you can't just rely on one. You may have one good business. Say my online was thriving and it was buzzing on doing X amount per month. It could only take for one thing to go wrong in that, and that could all come piling down. So it's always having that kind of backup and finding out what else it is you can do along the side. So, I've got a few ideas of what I want to do. I know everyone says, oh yeah, I want to get into property. I ideally eventually would want to get into property. I know obviously there's a lot of capital involved in that up front to be able to get into it, and especially kind of what line you go down, whether you obviously you're going to be building them, whether you're going to be going into just renting, whatever side you go down. But again, I've got quite a good background for it because the majority of my family are all kind of in the trade industry. So when it comes to when it comes to sort of like doing the housework and building houses, I know that I could be doing it a lot easier and I've got a lot of background knowledge to do that. So that's something I potentially would want to look into in the future. But again, of course, I know it's not as easy as everybody makes it out. So again, you've got to do research on that as well. So that's something I do. Again, a bit like yourself, collaborations and stuff like that. I get money from there. I do other things like posing coaching, and that kind of all ties in with the same sort of stuff now. But I'll definitely be looking to sort of open up other sort of revenues to sort of bring in some.
Do you still do a little bit of work on the side for the garage or anything like that if you needed to anything extra?
Not really, no. So again, that's all full employment. So there's nobody that you can just go and do. And to be honest, for the amount of time I'd have to do it, it would actually probably cost me money to do it that way. So at the minute, I wouldn't go back to that unless I really had to.
I was always wondering that whether it for me, for argument's sake, would it be worth me sort of dabbling into something else? I mean, I did go into property and help out my friend, but that was purely for education side, as much as earning a little bit of extra. And I did do that. I've done a bit of property sourcing. So that was all interesting to learn about developing that investors column. But I think we can discuss that another time. I think it's a good place to finish. I think we've covered absolutely loads. Is there anything others what you want to cover or say?
No, I think, to be honest, that was pretty good. I mean, like I said, the only thing that I guess we were going to cover is obviously where we both obviously met was in the sort of Miami Pro Pure Elite days and stuff like that. And I was just going to say, really, to anybody that was looking to get into that kind of bodybuilding, it's a perfect place to start. Meet people like Nathan, people like myself, and you'll then also obviously enjoy bodybuilding. You're not going straight into the deep end. You're around people that you obviously all kind of on your level as well. And then I find from that, you all know yourself, the amount of friends you've made from that. And, I've just watched other people's journeys grow, not just in the fitness, not just in the fitness industry, but outside that as well. And actually it's quite nice to sort of see, because the fitness industry is such a big industry, but yet a small industry, because to people that aren't in it, it kind of feels like a weird place. But when you're in it, it's like a really big family, and you can really learn and get to lots of different places just from having a few conversations with people, and actually jumping on calls like this. You'll always be learning, and you'll always learn from somebody, whether that's about coaching, whether it's about business or anything. I wouldn't, where I am today, I would not have probably been if I didn't get into the fitness industry 5-6 years ago. So places like that are always a great place to start, I'd say.
Definitely. Brilliant. It's great to have you, mate. Definitely going to have you back.
Yeah,
and hopefully I'll get to catch up with you in person at one point. That'd be really good.
Yes, we will. Well, there's some shows, probably some shows coming up soon, so I'll hopefully see you around.
Yes, mate. All right, bud. I'll speak to you soon.
Worries, mate. Take it easy, buddy. Take care.